In order to be considered eligible for OPWDD services, you, your family member, or the person you support must be diagnosed with a developmental disability that is recognized by OPWDD, and the onset must have occurred before the person turned 22 years old. You or your family member will have to provide documentation of the diagnosis. When applying for OPWDD eligibility, you will need to submit documentation, including a general medical assessment or annual physical, a psychosocial evaluation, and a psychological evaluation that includes an IQ test and an adaptive behavior scale. For diagnoses other than intellectual disability, a medical or specialty report that includes health status and diagnostic findings to support the qualifying diagnosis is also needed. Additional documentation may be needed on a case-by-case basis. The diagnosis should have occurred before the person turned 22. If you, your family member, or the person you support is over the age of 22 when applying for OPWDD eligibility, supporting documentation of the developmental disability must be submitted. Examples of supporting documentation include old school records, previous evaluations, old individualized education plans, and other similar records. You will need to submit all of the required documentation directly to OPWDD for eligibility. OPWDD has local offices called the Developmental Disabilities Regional Offices, or DDROs. The DDRO numbers are listed on LINC's website. Each DDRO has a front door office, which is the starting point for applying for services. The front door is a standardized, person-centered process for establishing access to services for people who are new to eligibility or for those seeking to modify existing services. When going through the front door process, eligibility is determined and an assessment of strengths is completed to identify what supports are needed. Then services and supports are authorized. You can begin the front door process by attending a front door information session. Alternate arrangements can be made if you're unable to attend in person. If you still have questions about applying for OPWDD eligibility, call YAI Link at 212-273-6182.